I'm Melanie Llaneras. I'm in 11th grade and I go to Terra Environmental Research Institute.
What happened that made you realize that you needed our service?
So I felt that I had lost a lot of my prior math skills when it came to what the SAT math section covers. And I didn't feel ready to face the math that I had taken even before I started high school. And that's what drew me to Piece of Pie.
Wait, so take me back a little bit. So, like, what was your situation at that time? Like, what math class were you in? Had you taken an SAT? And give me a little more details there.
I had only taken a PSAT once, and I was taking, I started taking AP Calc, which is already a college level class.
Right.
And so I was not ready to face an SAT with what I had learned before high school.
Yeah, literally. I was just talking about this in the video I was making. It's the only test you algebra one, geometry, algebra
Yeah,
two.
don't remember anything.
Yeah, you took algebra one in one grade?
Seventh grade.
Oh, man. And you had taken the PSAT, and how'd you do on that? And
I did very mediocre. I got, I think, a 540 on math.
so you probably felt like, man, I'm an AP
Yeah,
Calc.
yeah. I'm like, why do
What kind of problems was this causing you? Like,
I was slacking in math that, you know, you'd think that I'd be good at because I was in a higher level math. And I'd be faced with these problems and I didn't know how to attack each problem at all. I didn't remember.
and let's say your score had stayed at a 540. What kind of what issue would that bring? What would be the problem with that?
I'm aiming for schools that wouldn't even look at me if I had that type of score. And I was also aiming for bright futures, and I wouldn't have been able to reach that with that score.
And how did you find this?
Um, when I was in a sophomore, there was a junior in my class that kept talking about how your program was helping her reach the math score that she wanted.
Why'd you choose to work with us?
I needed a way to reach the score that I wanted. And, I also needed to improve on my reading, but, take it one step at a time. I needed to do math as well. And you had explained to me before I had become a student in the program that the math and SAT is very mechanical and achieving a good score was very reachable through practice and different steps that you were going to teach us. And I knew that that's what I needed, like a good and organized program.
You needed a structure. How could our program be improved for future students?
I mean, I don't think there's much that could be improved. I think you guys are like legit, but something I think that could have helped me at the end was maybe during like the SAT crunch time right before the SAT to have a folder or something of for students of like the difficult topics that each student may have encountered. But
Just
and you did that for me. I was struggling with geometry and you had right before, like perfect timing, you got me the geometry packet.
all right, cool. That's great feedback. I've been working on that actually. That's one of my goals this prep. So we're gonna get it done for the future kids. So, all right, how would you describe our service to another student? What should they know?
The program is so worth the money. The workload's heavy, but yeah, although the workload's heavy and the times aren't as flexible as I would have preferred it to be because I have like Sundays, I have church throughout the week, I have a lot of homework and softball and everything. You'll for sure be able to reach a desired score. And it takes a lot of practice and paying attention, but what can come out of that compensates for all the hard work that you involved in the program
It
throughout
was
the
tough. It was tough, right?
It was like having another class.
It was an AP class.
Yeah. It was more work than my AP classes.
I scared everyone away now. We both did. Congrats. What was your expectation of the group virtual environment?
I was very hesitant about it because I like things to be individual and I'm not the biggest fan of virtual classes. So I expected it to be effective, but not as effective as it would have been if it were differently.
Common, very common. It's like
Um,
everybody. Well, what was your experience with it then, ultimately?
yeah, after experiencing the virtual group learning environment, I don't think there was any better way to teach the SAT classes. I mean, this is a busy program, and also it's like the way the chats work, it's very effective, and you keep track of everything. Like the, but despite there being other students, I
I knew
was
every answer. Like,
I I got like a like in the chats, you send like the diagnostic. I'm like, how do they remember how many questions, like how many answers I sent?
yeah, bro.
I was very careful of what I said ever since that. But yeah, despite there being other students, like I wasn't afraid to ask questions, and it was a comfortable environment, and it was very effective.
Nice. And what result did we ultimately help you get? Like, what was your final score, and what was your improvement?
So this was my first SAT, and in comparison to the PSAT, which was like the only test I had taken, I improved a total of 220 points, and I surpassed my goal of 750 and reached a 760.
Let's go. And I remember you being like, you were not sure. You were like, I don't know
Yeah,
if I'm
I
gonna
was
do
like,
this.
I don't know, scared.
You told me, yeah, no, you told me you said, Renan, I don't feel prepared for this test. It's like while we were tutoring. I've heard this a lot before, so I was like super calm. I'm like, relax, bro. But you were like, I'm gonna just study hard for March because you were busy with school, right? That.
Yeah.
So what was the feeling you had when you reached out like that? Because there was a moment I remember, like right before the November test, you were just like freaking out because you were like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna be
It
ready for
was
this.
like 10 p.m. and I still hadn't studied for reading. And I
Oh,
told you I was going to take a reading like practice exam right now, and you're like, girl, go to sleep. Like that's crazy. But luckily, like at night, out of nowhere, it said my November test was canceled, and I was like, oh man,
blessing in disguise.
yeah. And in a way, it didn't even like do much, just because for December, like December was like one of my busiest school months yet, and I barely got to study that much, and I wasn't in tutoring, and I had like homecoming the night before. I went to bed late. I went to bed at 4 a.m. So
So you went to bed at 4 a.m. You had not been in tutoring for a month, and you still got a 760. You're a beast. That's crazy. I can't believe you retained that. And I mean,
yeah, I was very hesitant on taking the December one because I was like, I have homecoming, and you're like, it's a missed opportunity if you don't take it. And I'm like, okay, I guess.
I that's what I was telling you. Even a month removed, the
And now
prep.
it's like I'm just going to super score now. And I remember you had showed me an example of a student that was super scoring, and the score kept going up without trying.
I'm pretty confident your math it'll at least stay consistent. I do not expect it to. I mean, worst case, you already know we have a bunch of practice tests. Feel free, just let me know. You
Okay.
just take a few just to keep. But you studied so hard in the prep that I could see why it would have stuck long term memory.
Yeah.
I just feel like some people don't realize that. They cram too much and they don't not how you did it, where it was more spread out every week, doing everything we asked.
Like consistent practice.
And it just at a certain point it sticks. And so there you go. Congratulations. You right? Those are the fruits of your work that's stuck in your head. Woo-hoo. So what has this result meant for you?
Although I still want to keep improving my score, this score helped me secure 100% Bright Futures. So I don't have to pay for any public in-state colleges, and that's very beneficial to my family. And the score looks good for the colleges that I want to apply to because I want a math major.
Nice. I want a math major. Right? I mean, no, now I like math a lot more now. I mean, I used to love it still, but now I appreciate it a lot more after being a teacher. So I'm a little jealous. Is there anything else that we should know, just like in general?
That if a student plays their part by practicing and paying attention in class, a perfect score or any score near perfect is very achievable.
Good to know.
Yep.
Yeah.